straight at his knees.
Oh.
Bang.
The kid's head came up and you watched just a fountain of red.
And this golf ball hit her so hard in the mouth.
I was like, cool, you're getting it now. And I just smacked him in the face, like straight on, not like on his nose, innit?
Welcome back to the NSFW podcast right here on Balls Up. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a review, rate us 5 stars. And if you're watching on YouTube, go over to the podcast app and download all of the past podcasts we have shot and recorded. Today, Mr. Corporate himself is wearing oversized Root attire.
Yes.
Big up the Root gang, I like it.
Link down below in the description for you to get yourself to the blog to get a giveaway.
Yes.
Potentially get some swag.
We've also got Sav Berry, sunglasses on his head, and Dave Horner with his brand new Pata jumper that he picked up in Amsterdam.
Talk us through this number though.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Today, I've gone, as Jackson said, Ace Ventura vibes. Don't know, I think they match the Puma Thunder Spectres quite well, don't they? So, Also, we've got a film premiere tonight, and the dress code was smart casual, so I thought, I better put a shirt on, unlike you.
And that's what you went with.
And this is smart casual, is it?
It is smart casual, yeah.
Absolutely mad. In what
I look
world
smart and casual.
is that
you
smart
look,
casual?
You look smart and
I look smart and casual.
like you're on holiday.
Thank you. Anyway, how's everybody's week's been? Dave, what gigs have you done this week? Any corporate talks?
No,
Any
I got some
speeches?
free stuff from Warner Brothers.
You did as well, yeah.
To celebrate the release of Ready Player One out on Blu-ray right now.
Should we talk about Ready Player One? Because I thought the film was appalling.
It's one of those, well, how can I send this to Warner Brothers now, idiot?
I thought
Why did you said that?
I thought the film was.
But you can still buy it on the Blu-ray and DVD right now.
Yeah, you can. I thought the film was a mess.
This is why no one does it.
Well, I think the thing was, the book is so good, isn't it? The book is absolutely amazing. It's such a page turner.
Yeah, the book is good.
You know,
Putting it back in.
And I feel like I think the biggest problem with the movie is it tried to cram too much in. You know what I mean? Like they're in the book. You basically almost like last 5 or 6 chapters they actually get together. And within about 25 minutes of the movie, they're already kissing and holding hands.
Yeah, I think I completely agree. It's actually one of my favourite books, but the film went so off script. I was like, why didn't you split it across 3 different movies?
Yeah.
Just don't try and cram it all into one. Split it across 3.
But then again,
really milk the cow.
But then also as well, I imagine to actually license all of the stuff to actually turn it into 3
Not
movies.
my problem, mate. Not my problem. I want to see a good film, and they didn't do a good job.
They
in
did
my
the
opinion.
same.
And I have to say this: Steven Spielberg, he's gone downhill badly. When was the last time Spielberg did a good film?
Probably Jewel, innit?
Seriously?
I bet you none of us have even seen that.
It's an
Remember
absolute
that
mess
film?
recently, Spielberg. I don't know what's
mad.
happened to him recently, but he hasn't done a good
He
film
doesn't
in
need
time.
to. He's multi-millionaire.
Well, don't get involved in the franchise of my favourite books, Steven.
Only thing is though,
Steven.
there's not a great track record of taking one book and turning it into multiple films because there's not really an end point for 3 films, is there?
Well, there
You
is.
look at when they did it with Harry Potter, didn't they? But they did it with Hunger Games, where they split the last one into 2, and the first part of it just kind of ends, and it's like, well, I don't know why I've gone to the cinema to see this.
Was there 3 bits of The Hobbit?
Yeah.
There was.
See, like that was a prime example when it should have only been 2 movies, and they spread it out for free so they can make more money.
Yeah.
Anyway, what gear did they actually send you?
Sent me a Blu-ray, which you can also purchase yourself out now.
A copy of it on
it was a copy. Yeah, it was just a Blu-ray, just a Beamer light. Some little figures, some very fancy glasses, which I've left upstairs.
And Mikey McCullen's a big fan of glasses, isn't he?
A copy of the book, which I lent to Adam Barnett.
Yeah?
Who will probably make an appearance on the podcast soon. Will he?
No,
Maybe
probably not. I don't know, maybe.
Why not?
Big West Ham Barnet.
Get AB on it.
And
Get
some other
each
bits.
other's tear up on
It's
screen.
absolutely lovely. Thank you very much, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I was quite jealous when I saw it on your desk. Savile, what have you been up to?
Not a lot, geezer. Same old thing. Just cutting videos together and doing my thing for you lot.
We've got transfer deadline day 2 days away, and Balls Up might have just confirmed a transfer.
Yes,
Coming
we
up
might
towards
have.
deadline day, innit?
Potentially.
Potentially. He's not quite signed on the dotted line yet, but we have had...
On a Bosman free.
Yeah, on a Bosman free. We've had talks with his agent.
Yeah.
He seems to have a pretty good track record, so potentially you could be seeing a new member of the Balls Up Nation sign on the dotted line fairly soon.
All we need is a medical and we're good to go. Innit?
Yeah, hopefully he passes it. Horner, what about you?
What have I done this week?
What did you do on the weekend?
What did I do on the weekend? My mate got married, which was cool.
Yeah.
Oh God, there's loads. I had
Go
a
on,
funeral
tell
yesterday,
the-
and then tomorrow I'm going to see Chic and Noel Rodgers with my mum and dad and my brother,
That'd be nice.
Nice, yeah.
which will be decent. And tonight we are attending a little premiere, aren't we?
We are. We're going to see... What's the actual film called?
It is called...
Can't Lose.
Is it Can't
Something
Lose?
like that. It's
think it's
KSI's
called
film
Can't Lose.
documentary. We've
Something
been
like
invited
that,
down
yeah.
to, so we're going to go down there, do some bits and bobs, speak to some people, see what we can do. So hopefully we should have some cool
What did you
content
think I was going to be talking about? Because you said, go on, tell them about.
I wanted you to tell them the joke, innit?
What joke?
The one you told me earlier.
Tell him the joke.
Go on.
I think I told you 2 rude jokes, didn't I?
It's NSFW is the name of the podcast.
Go on, what's the rude joke?
Yeah, what were the jokes?
Go on.
What were they?
You don't remember the name of the joke. The joke was, number one...
The job centre one.
Right, yeah.
I can tell you the job
Go
centre
on.
one. Why am I doing this on a podcast? A bloke went into a job centre and saw a sign up on the wall looking for a fanny waxer. So he went in and he asked, and he said, "Is that job in the window? Is that real?" And the fellow said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you want a job description about it?" So he said, "Yeah, of course I do." So he said, "Right." He said, "Well, basically, you got to help the ladies off with their knickers." He said, "Then you have to prepare the area for waxing, and then you have, once it's all been done, you apply a soft oil to the area as well." He said, "It's a local job." So he went, "It's a local job." He went, "Yeah, it's local." He went, "That sounds right up my street." He said, "Quality." He said, "Well, you got to go down to Cornwall then." He went, "What?" I thought you said it was local. He went, "Yeah, that's where the queue starts."
Oh my god.
There you go.
Jesus, that is
Good.
One of my dad's mates told me that yesterday. So shout out Steve Oldham. Shout out Big Steve Oldham.
What have you been up to this week then, Joe?
What did I do at the weekend? Went to an event on Friday night. It was like a Puma launch event for the start of the new season. Yeah, I was absolutely
You was a bit worse for wear, weren't you?
At that. Honestly, it was free drinks all night, right? And it was in this warehouse in High Street, Kensington. So it's like quite a nice area. And it was in this warehouse. We turned up, it was absolute sweat fest. And it was like, as we were coming down the stairs, Oliver Jack from Love Island was coming out. And I was like, this is already a sign. It's going to be a fantastic night. So we went in there. Obviously, you go up to the bar. And usually at these sort of like launch events or whatever, they're like, oh, you can have like here's a free Heineken. There's your 1 drinks token for the night. Puma, big up, obviously did not care. When we arrived, they were already out of rum, the lot.
We laid on a proper sesh, yeah?
So we ordered like, I don't know, 12, 14 vodka Red Bulls. And you could go up and you could order unlimited amounts.
Don't invite Football Daily somewhere with a free bar.
And obviously they're serving them in like 3/4 pint glasses, then plastic cups, and they're doing 50% measures. So they didn't have like a 25, 50ml measure. They was just pouring out and then slamming half a Red Bull and then half a Red Bull in the next one. By about 10:30, we were battered. Kieran could barely even stand up. Then if you saw my Instagram, he was rattled. We was up on the smoking terrace. It's really nice, like view across London. Everybody was absolutely minging. Oh, nice. It was awful, but it's such a sick night. Yeah. Then we came out.
Who were the 3 worst culprits?
The 3 worst culprits.
Name and shame them.
Obaseki.
Yeah, Obaseki was in a bad way. When we came outside, he was having an argument about some kid about 7 aside, so I thought, oh my god, that was in a bad way.
Always.
What do you mean? He was a bad shout. With who?
Obaseki. No, some kids had challenged us. They obviously knew who we were and was like, oh, we'll smash you at 7 aside. And Obaseki was like, don't front. So we didn't. We come outside. So Obaseki was bad. Kieran couldn't even walk, man. Like when we got in the taxi, he was blotto, and then probably myself. I mean, I was in an awful way.
Thames is usually a bit of a nightmare.
Thames is usually a nightmare, but he was okay, man. Like we went out in Brixton afterwards. We got like Ubers back to Brixton. I went out in Brixton in Gremio's, and he was okay. I left a little bit early. I was a bit worse for wear, to be fair. And then got home. Led on the sofa, and then obviously where I was really quite drunk, I had bought like a chicken world, 6 wings, 2 breasts and chips, and fell asleep with it on my chest and woke up with it on my face. It's just gone absolutely everywhere.
Yes.
And then obviously, because I'd like overslept a little bit, I was actually meant to go to Gloucester the next day, which is where my girlfriend's from. Because she was having like a family get together that night, and I was like, yeah, babe, we'll be there early. Oh, don't worry, I'll be there early. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. I woke up at like 10:30, chips all over my face. Like, oh my god, I'm not doing the Gloucester. It's like 2 hours away. I was like, oh dear. Next player, I was like, oh, I've overslept a little bit. I'm on the way to Paddington now. I was like, getting gear. But yeah, that was my weekend. It's pretty fun.
Decent.
Yeah, quite a bit of fun. Anyway, should we talk about the news? Who's got a news story? Dave Jackson, you look pumped for a news story.
Yes, I've got a news story. It is from the BBC. That's my source.
The BBC.
Always good to get your source in.
Yeah.
And basically, Dr. Bennett Amalu, who's basically the guy that Will Smith played in the movie Concussion, he has come out and said that heading should be banned from football or from soccer.
Heading on the ball.
Heading the ball. He said that children, basically I think under the age of 16, should be banned full stop, and in the professional game, it should be restricted.
How do you restrict it? Yeah, how are you going to restrict it?
Look.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Restricting it is the bit that doesn't make sense because
None of it makes
With
sense.
like
heads a
with
game.
heading a ball, surely it's just it's in
No,
or it's out.
I don't
It's
know.
yes or
That's
no.
the thing. I don't know if he wants to make a softer ball, but it's more about the repetition, the constant.
But it's also
movement of
that like it would be so hard. Like that would take years to get into the game properly. Just because even you've probably got 10 years worth of kids that aren't even in the professional game yet that are they're in the process of playing football and the ball's in the air, they use their head.
But
So
there
to
is
get
an
that out
awful lot
of
of
them-
evidence to suggest that professional footballers is linked with Alzheimer's as they get.
Oh,
as
I'm
they
not
get
here's-
older.
suggesting.
what I'll
I
say.
imagine he's probably right there. I just mean in terms of trying to implement it when it's been part of the game for so
I
long.
think that's the
it'll be
thing.
so
I don't know. I
difficult.
don't know if there's a solution.
So here's
'cause
what
obviously
I'll say.
when you play American football, you wear a helmet.
The kid's limitation, pointless, complete and utter waste of time.
But
No
why?
point
Why?
limiting
Why?
under
Because
16-year-olds.
their
I'll
skulls
tell you
are
why.
much,
Is
much
the only
softer.
reason, the only significant link between heading a football goes to professional athletes. If you can find me in a case study a proven link between a regular you and me having Alzheimer's at later life because we played football as a child, I'll believe you. But 0.5%, maybe even 0.05% of all footballers across the UK under 16 will go on to become professional
That's fair
footballers.
enough.
No, I
So
think
only
he's-
0.05%.
Is he not talking about the professional game though?
That's
So-
fine.
yeah,
Then,
so
then
he-
don't bother doing it for the non-professionals.
Oh, you're saying about
it's
the
a
kids
complete
bit,
waste of
fine.
time. You
Yeah.
cannot. There's no point doing something for the 0.05% of the population that limits the 99.5 point
I get it,
whatever.
yeah, I get it.
That's a waste of time. If you're going to do it for the professionals are taking the risk doing it. It's the same way that they could break their leg so badly tomorrow that they
That
can
could be
never
the end of their
walk
career,
again.
yeah.
I think
That's
one would
the
come
same
with
way.
the other though. If you banned it in the professional game, as time went by, kids growing up would stop heading the ball anyway, wouldn't they?
But
Because they
kids-
don't-
you
it's
can
the-
never
it's the
ban it.
same-
You
It's
can't
the
ban
same
it.
as you
It's
don't
impossible.
as kids don't pick the ball up when they
It's
play
impossible
because
to
they
ban
don't
it.
do it in the game.
But do you feel if there's a proven link, which the more evidence is suggesting that there probably
Blood,
is,
my man is
for
reaching,
for like
man.
for
I
like,
think
for
it'd be
like
funny to watch
professionals,
people play football
do you
with
think
helmets on though.
do you think that there is a duty of care of the FA, the
No.
FIFA to say, you know, there is actually a link?
Yeah, there's a duty of care to say it. Whether or not the players follow
Yes, fair
through
enough.
with it is up to them.
Yeah, it's
to
their-
put a
it's their risk.
limitation on the national
It's their
game
risk.
is mental. It's
Yeah.
It's their
ridiculous.
risk.
It's
But
the
actually-
same as saying, RT, we're going to play American football now, but we're only going to do it as tag.
Yeah.
It's
But
no
I feel like,
Yeah.
well, the thing is, I feel like Will Smith's reaching it because if you actually think about it, right, there is much less chance that you're going to be affected by heading the ball than if you're ramming somebody with your head every week in, week out.
Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't Will Smith who said this.
I know it's not Will Smith. I'm just saying.
No, but there is a link.
my
There
man.
is
Will
actually
Smith
a
will
link
be
Yeah.
playing him
between
in the
head and
sequel,
Alzheimer's.
which
Yeah.
is called.
There is actually.
Yeah,
a
no, I
proven
get the link, but I'm saying I'm sure that it's a lot less frequent than players who end up slurring their words like a year after they've retired from American football.
Yeah, I think the thing about American football is, as far as
Constant,
I know,
isn't it? It's
is not just the impact, is because you're wearing the chest plates
You
and the
throw
helmet,
yourself more, yeah.
your neck flicks back a lot.
It's more like
when,
whiplash, isn't it?
If you ever, yeah, it's
It's
like
whiplash.
constant whiplash.
Yeah.
So if you watch them on TV,
Yeah.
it's not so much the immediate impact. It's
Well,
when
it's
they
It's
fall
also
down, their
that
head wobbles.
that because they're wearing protective gear,
They can take more punishment.
they will throw themselves into something.
my
with
argument to you
yeah,
the
we were
other
talking
day?
about this the other day. They
I
will
actually
throw
changed your
themselves.
mind about it.
You did. In fact, I'll be honest with you, because I had no idea. Like, I'd had this same conversation with someone a long time ago when this film was coming out, and said that same thing, and I'd actually forgot that point to it
What's your
until we were
point? What
talking
is
about
your
it.
point?
Was that if Sav was saying if you're wearing protective gear,
rugby is safer than
you
NFL.
you will throw yourself
Without the
into things
protection.
with more
not
force
convinced.
than you would
You're
if you.
not convinced.
He was saying if you took helmets
that's
off
wrong.
NFL players,
Yeah, I
they
disagree.
wouldn't throw themselves into
disagree. I
tackles.
disagree.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. I disagree.
I don't know.
The impact, whether or not you're wearing it, you're still going in 100%.
Oh, yeah,
James
for
Haskell
sure.
is
It's a
still
good point,
tackling
though.
100%.
Of course.
And whether or
But
not
he's more specific with the way he tackles. I'm saying NFL players literally throw their bodies
yeah, but
into their
that's
opponents.
nothing to do with them wearing
It
body
is.
armour. That's
I
to do
think
with
it
the
is.
rules and regulations within
I
rugby.
disagree.
You can't. I can't just throw a shoulder in rugby. That's illegal.
No,
in
I
American
get
football,
that.
I can.
Yeah,
so
no,
it's
I
more
get-
to
I
do
get
with the
your
rules
point.
and regulations than it is the equipment.
I disagree. I still think that there's like you can't headbutt in NFL. You can't lead with your head, but you can still if an impact happens
Yeah.
and your head's there, it's not a foul.
But you can still do that in rugby. I
You
can
can't-
still
you
throw
can't
my head in
headbutt.
front. No, but I can still throw my head in front of them as they're running down the touchline. I can
I
still.
just think
It's just that you're going to follow your
You're
shoulder.
going to follow
yeah,
your
so-
shoulder. So there's just as much chance of you getting a battered brain. Like rugby players are almost as bad as NFL players. They're like their heads are messed for like years coming up after. Like their bodies are absolutely ruined when they finish playing rugby.
But yeah, I get that. Like my granddad, this is my claim to fame. My granddad used to play for the London Wasps, right? And he, throughout his career, had like a number of injuries. Broke his collarbone, broke every single one of his fingers and his thumbs. Broke his femur. Like he had loads of injuries throughout his career.
Broke the femur.
Broke the femur.
That's the toughest.
You broke your femur as well, didn't you?
Broke your femur, yeah.
It's so difficult to break it. It's like the toughest bone in the world.
It's made like it's basically concrete.
It's madness. So like, yeah, I get that there's injuries, but I think me personally would rather have my wits about me and have those injuries than be an NFL player who doesn't have those injuries and is slurring my words 2 years after I've retired.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think that the equipment in NFL clearly plays a part, but the equipment in NFL, the negative isn't necessarily the tackling technique, it's the whiplash aspect of the body armour stopping your body hitting the ground first. So as it hits, you've still got 3 inches, so your neck
your head
flings, whereas in rugby, you impact as a whole. That's the major difference rather than impact
but the
with
thing
the
is,
man.
for this specific story here, we're talking about it with football, as in with soccer, football over here. I just think it wouldn't work to. I don't know how you'd go back to the same part. I don't think you could do it in NFL. You can put restrictions on it of the way they play. I couldn't see a world in which heading is penalised or something in football. It'd be crazy.
I think also because I don't know if you guys remember there was a documentary Alan Shearer did.
Oh, I remember this documentary.
And the thing that I always remember that is like a lot of the players. Again, the player we always used to reference, Nobby like Styles. He had Alzheimer's in his career. Them balls were so much more heavier, and they would get wet as well.
Yeah, they soak up all the water.
It's like you're heavy, and now the balls are
light plastic.
It's light, and it's almost like the water goes off the balls now, isn't it? You know what I mean? So
do you remember the old days in school when if you was playing football with a ball that just wasn't quite fully pumped up, so it was just a tiny bit soft, and if it hit you in the face, because it wasn't fully pumped up, it would like round your face a bit before it went off.
That's horrible.
Oh, that on a cold day.
Stingers.
Side of the ear.
The worst ones.
Your ear.
The worst ones, and this happened to me once, and I had to wear a neck brace. So no, for real. So the ball goes high in the air. You're having a conversation with somebody else, and it comes straight down onto the top of your head. Those are the worst ones because it pushes your neck down. It pushes your neck down, and I remember thinking, "This is mad. I've never felt pain like this before." And I had to wear a neck brace for time. Talking to people like this, it was mad. It was mad. Telling you.
Sounds like man, mounted out of nowhere, man.
Yeah, I also used to remember that sort of like ball that was never fully pumped up at school, and whenever you headed it, it was like a slap.
Proper.
I used to love heading the ball as well. That used to be one of my best aspects of my game, heading the ball. I was playing at the back.
Joe loves a 50-50.
That's my thing. I love a 50-50.
That's how you broke your femur, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know whether I've told a femur story on the podcast before. So I did my femur when I was
on the podcast before. I know I've told it on loads of other things.
I have told it on loads of other things. That's what I mean. Like I've definitely told it on Sunday Vibes, but I snapped at my femur, which is your thigh bone, if you don't know what it is, playing a thing called the 50-50 game.
Strongest bone in the body.
Strongest and longest bone in the body. So basically what the 50-50 game is I wasn't actually playing in the game. I was watching a Sunday League game on the sideline with a couple of my best mates. And basically what the 50-50 game is, you put a ball in the middle of you two, you take 2 steps back, 2 steps in, whoever wins the 50-50 takes the point. That is effectively the rules of the game. Now, it is not the nicest game to play, especially if it's a little bit wet.
If it's a little bit dewy. It's a little bit like kind of like bloody jousting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not. It's quite like an intense game to play, and everyone gets injured. So anyway, I've probably done like 5 to 10 of these 50-50s with these 2 lads, and one of them was significantly bigger than me, probably 6'3"-ish. Not very wide, but it's that wiry strength for 6'3", a little bit like Sam Obaseki kind of vibe. Anyway, so we put the ball in the middle of us, 2 steps back, and crunch into this 50-50. Immediately, as soon as my foot hit the ball, I knew I was in massive problems. I led on the floor, screaming. I was like, I'm in horrendous areas here. Everybody was like, people in the game on the pitch next to us turned around like, what's just happened there? And I was led there like screaming, holding my knee. And then like, you get like, I don't know if you've broken a bone before, but you start to get this sick feeling. Like you start to feel like physically ill. So I was like feeling ill. I was led on the side of the pitch, holding my knee. And like the 2 Joshes who are my friends like stood over me like, you're right, mate, you can't be that bad, you're all right. Like,
come on.
Because I've got like, a bit of a reputation for like
Being a twat.
being a bit of an idiot. So they thought I was just faking it. So I was like led there, and I was like seriously ill. So a couple of the substitutes from the team come over, and they're like, "What's happened, lads?" And I was like, they basically explained what happened. They were like, "I think let me have a look. Let me have a look." So I looked at my knee, and my leg visually didn't look bad, and I was like, "Oh, I can't move." And they were like, "Yeah, I think you've twisted your knee." Or something like that. And I was like, it doesn't feel like I've twisted my knee. So they kind of helped me up.
Oh, God.
So that picked me up.
I think that's broke.
And
the whole connection there.
Hobble in, they like hobble off down towards a bench, sit me on this bench, and I'm like in tears. So I ring up my parents. I'm like, I've seriously hurt my leg. I've really hurt my leg. And my parents, my parents are on a walk in like Budley, which is like a beach with a dog. And they're like, nah, come on, this is just classic Joe. Like, you're always injuring yourself doing something stupid. We're not gonna
How often has this happened?
We're not gonna come back from the walk.
Quality.
So I was like,
fair play.
like, fair, like,
enjoy yourself.
I was like, okay, fair enough. So I'm sat in the changing room for probably like another half an hour. They've moved me inside at this stage, and I'm like still in severe pain. And one of Josh's friends turns up. One of the Joshes turns up, and he goes. His dad turns up, and he goes, "What's happened to you?" Because everybody at home knows me as Cheesy. So he says, "What's happened to you, Cheese?"
Why?
And I was like, "Just Cheesy. What's in it? What's it, Ginger?"
So he goes, "Take the piss."
So he goes, "You don't look very white as a sheet. Like, try not to be sick. Leg absolutely mangled.
Paler than you normally are."
Yeah. And I was like, I really hurt my leg. He's like, "I think you should probably go to hospital. You can't move it." So he picks me up, takes me to he's got a BMW, one like 3-door. I had to get into the BMW because I was sat in the front seat. I had to go, if you can't see because you're listening, I had to lift my knee up and like actually hinge my knee, get it into the car, and put it out like that, screaming the whole way. Get to the hospital, obviously they tell me I've cracked my femur up, snapped my ACL, snapped my MCL,
Lovely.
Cartilage damage, whatever. Full length toe to hip cast for 12.
So if you would have
weeks.
gone straight away to the hospital, would it have been that bad?
That wouldn't have been different.
But
luckily, really luckily, it hadn't sheared off. So like it wasn't a full snap. It was a fracture. So I didn't have to have surgery, thank God. But when I came out, like my leg was like so thin. Yeah. It was like the thickness. My hamstring was like the thickness of like a bicep. Yeah. And then my calf was like the thickness of a wrist. It was madness. It's literally.
That's crazy.
I couldn't walk on it, and it's also because where you've had a straight leg for like 12, 15 weeks.
Doing the
joint doesn't
move.
Yeah, so like you physically
it
can't
fuses,
move the joint. You have to go like into physio.
I was gonna say. So how did you like re-strengthen the leg?
It's mad. Just
Did
I don't know.
do
I never did proper physio.
You didn't?
I used to turn up to the appointments. But like the appointments was really sporadic. I didn't have proper physio. Like I did it a few times and it was just a bit mad. So I just kind of stopped and then just started going like this a bit more. Yeah. But yeah, that was awful. That made me miss a college skiing trip as well. It was so annoying.
Physio is always a weird one.
You just wanted to get on the slopes.
I did want to get on the slopes.
Just one straight leg.
But that was the worst injury I've ever had. Horrible bone.
It sounds horrible. It generally does sound horrible.
To break, man.
Have you ever been in had to leg break, physio, anything like that?
I've broke my left arm.
Your arm, cycling.
Yeah, no, but I've broke this arm a few times. I broke it first time when I was 7. I was running down my hallway and I just had socks on. But you know, when you're a kid, they were like dangling in front of me, and I stepped on the front of one, tripped, put my hands out, and I've had the weirdest breaks. So I put my hands out. I broke the top bone there, but it was a spiral break.
The humerus, is it?
Yeah. So they told me it was a spiral break. So basically, as I jarred it, the bone spiraled and snapped as it went like that. So when it was resetting, it was basically doing this. So I had
madness.
that. Then
how old were you then? 7.
7, and then fixed that one. Got to 11. Had like first family holiday where we'd actually go abroad because like, we didn't have any money, so we used to do caravan holidays and stuff when I was a kid. Went abroad with my mum's family to one of those like Euro camp things in France. First day there, it had like water parks, everything. I was literally having the time of my life, like absolutely loving it. First day, I go to my aunt's caravan bit where hers was, and it's like up on this veranda. And I just step up onto the veranda, trip. As I fall, put my arms out, and I went, but you know how you do that? Yeah. My elbow went inwards. And it just literally and they were all laughing at me. My whole family was pissing themselves. Thought it was hilarious.
That was a proper laugh.
And I remember I got up and looked, and my dad, it was like, I remember just catching my dad's eye, and he's like pissing himself. And as he saw it, he went, "Oh, fuck." It was like, oh shit, serious.
So this was in?
He went inwards. So basically, on the X-ray, it was like an X. I basically shattered the elbow on the thing. So then I had that one done. Had a huge. Cause it was in France. They put me in this same light as you. From there round my thumb.
Yeah, man.
Huge cast all the way.
Shoulders to
But it meant I couldn't do. That was the first day. I couldn't. So my dad went and bought. He hated that. Like I couldn't. We'd gone abroad and I couldn't go in the pool or anything. So my dad went and bought a tennis racket, threw the racket away, and got the plastic. You know how they're shaped like that.
Yeah.
The things. Put my arm in the bottom of it and the other bit round here and zipped it up. And then I was going down water flumes like this on my holiday. And then
good.
the most recent one was, God, how long ago was it? I was working here, wasn't I?
2014, I guess.
Yeah, maybe about 4 years ago. I was doing me and my brother and a load of my cousins were doing a charity bike ride from London to Paris for my aunt who had breast cancer. And I was gutted because I trained for about 6 to 9 months to do this cycling thing, building up for it, got on the bike, went out, we left at 4 o'clock in the morning on the first day. And at 6 o'clock, I was in some place called Haywards Heath, which is out like near Brighton, because we had to get down to the coast to get the ferry. And I remember I was at the top of this hill, and I took one of those energy gel things. So I think that helped, like taking the energy gel, like the adrenaline boost, but I didn't really feel it as it happened. So I took it at the top of this hill, and just went, right, go down. Started rolling down this hill, and at the bottom was just a sharp right turn. Got to the bottom, ironic thing is I was braking, and I kept thinking to myself, if I brake any harder than this, I'm going to fall off. So I was like, I was still going proper fast. Got to the bottom, turned right. As I turned right, there's a pothole in the road. It's like about, I don't know, it's wide and it's deep. It's about the width of my, length of my wheel, and about, I don't know, 10 inches deep. So as I'm going along, I see it. You know how like time slows down? I thought to myself, right, just need to avoid that, avoid the hole. Time carries on, I was like, right, okay, you're definitely going to hit it, so now you just got to make sure you pop out the other side. Then I hit it, and the bike catapults me into the air. And I remember being in the air thinking, now you just got to make sure you don't hurt yourself too much. I put my hands out, but there was a grass bank on one side of the road, so my left arm hit the bank, and my body went through it. And as my body went through it, it snapped out that way, broke the elbow, so I broke my elbow socket twice, and broke the bone twice and dislocated my elbow in the process. Hit the floor. I thought my brother had fallen off as well, because all I had is someone behind me shouting, fuck, and it was my brother jumping off his bike because he'd seen me do it. Jumped off his bike, picked me up, and as he pulled up, my arm just flopped in front, like I had nothing in it at all.
That's a mad.
But the thing is, there's a history in my family on my dad's side of like drugs and anaesthetic and things like that not really working with us. So they put me in a car, take me to the local hospital there, but it was a tiny little local hospital.
Yeah.
So they didn't have operating theatres or whatever. All they had was an A&E, and they can only give you it's a big amount of propofol, but they can't give you anything more than that in there.
Yeah.
So they said to me, it was like, we need to X-ray it or whatever. They said, but first we have to reset the dislocation before we can do anything else. No, sorry, they wanted to strap me up, but they have to put the dislocation back first. So I was like, okay, cool, go for it. They said, we need to knock you out to do it. So they put this propofol in my arm. I remember it was a tube like that of a white liquid. And all I remember is I literally leant back and I just woke straight back up as he did it. But when I woke up, I knew why I was there, but I couldn't understand why it was hurting. So the doctor starts pulling my arm and I started fighting back against him. And I've got my auntie on the side of me. I'm like swinging for a doctor, calling him all sorts. And like in a bed, like going like this. And in the end, my head kind of realised why I was there. And I just stopped and I said to the doctor, I went, right, count me in from 3. You go that way, I'll go this way and we'll do it. And the doctor just went, if you're counting me in, we're not fucking doing it. So they said, we need to put you in an operating theatre and give you more drugs to knock you out.
Yeah.
So they had to put me in an ambulance and take me to Brighton Hospital, just because it's got operating rooms, and took me in there. My mum got to that hospital, walked in and said my name to the girl at the reception. And she went, oh yeah, he's through there. Mum went, is he all right? She went, oh, he's had a shitload of drugs. She said, I walked in, I was just sitting in a chair all happy with myself. And then they took me into an operating theatre, and I was chatting away to some woman, closed my eyes, opened them again, and it was a different person. When I looked down, my arm was done. But I went to physio after that, and the guy said to me at physio, is that, look, I'm telling you now, he went, you got one more in that arm. He said, if you do your left arm, he said, you're probably going to have like long-term damage and it'll be fucked. But even now, if I'm honest, like if I use weight machines in the gym, I have to consistently think about lifting on my left because my mind just naturally puts all of the weight here to compensate it and not put anything on it.
Yeah.
And when I first had it done, the weirdest thing was, like you, they couldn't put me in a cast for too long because of the elbow.
Yeah.
So they, I had it for a week and then they took it off. But there was no strength in it at all because it was all torn.
Yeah, man.
I kept walking up to doors and in my head I'd pushed it. And then I'd just walk straight into the thing. And I was like, why? And I kept realising it was because I wasn't pushing anything. I thought I'd done it and I hadn't. So yeah, I've done, this arm's been a mess.
Yeah, that's mad.
Any other injuries? You two?
I've never ever broken a bone.
Touch wood, touch wood.
Yeah, touch wood, yeah. I mean, I haven't broken.
Touch my head.
I've not broken a bone before, but I've had like injuries.
Stabbed.
Like stabbed, yeah. Got stabbed. That's what happened to me. Yeah, I got stabbed. Nah,
You've never broken a bone?
never broken a bone. The worst injury I've had is probably I had a puncture in my shin. So it was like I was on holiday. Yeah, so
A stab wound in your shin.
yeah, that's what I had in my shin. Yeah. So I was on holiday in Lanzarote, and when I was little, I was a really good footballer, probably better than I am now because I stopped playing when I was so young, right? And we'd gone to Lanzarote. We'd played this match where there was like adults playing and I was playing as well, and I was doing rings around everyone. I was doing the most. You know when you're on holiday and you're just gassed because you're there and you're like, I'm playing football now. I'm just in my element.
How old are you now at this point?
At that point, I must have been 11.
Right.
Well, I think it was just before I went to year 7.
Peak football age.
Peak football age. You know when you're just like, I'm the
It's
man.
life.
That's
You know
Football
when
is
I'm there?
life, yeah.
You're the man. So anyway, doing bits, game ends, but we lose, right? And I was so angry because my team was
I thought you
rubbish.
said gay men.
I did as
I was
well.
like, why are you playing football? Why is that
Gay men.
Why is that the rules?
gay
of
men's, yeah.
Meeting gay men's
Gay
and I'm
men's.
doing bits.
Yeah.
What team is this?
The game ends, right? And we've lost. And I was so angry because my team was dead, right? And like I'm spitting bullets. Like my mum's like, yeah, but you played really well. I was like, yeah, but my team was dead. Like, why did we lose? So I've tried to jump across this. If you don't know Lanzarote, there's a lot of volcanic rock everywhere. I've tried to jump from one rock to the next. And in one of the rocks, there's like a bit that was jutting out. So as I've landed, I've like caught my ankle wrong and I've gone to brace myself with my shin. And the rock, say this is my shin, has just gone straight in like that.
Oh.
And
Into the
there
bone.
was just, no, it wasn't into, it didn't do anything to the bone, but it was just
flesh.
in. Yeah, it was just in. And there was just a massive like puncture, like a hole basically in my leg for like ages.
Did you get stitches?
Yeah, yeah, we got stitches, but we had to pack it because it was just like a hole.
Yeah.
Like you had to pack it with
Oh.
stuff to get stitches and all that.
Right.
But other than that, I haven't really had anything else.
Anyone ever bruised a rib?
Yes.
That is painful,
worst,
isn't it?
the
Oh, God, I
worst.
bruised a
That's
rib when I
actually
was
one
a
of the
kid, and
worst
I feel like I've still got it now sometimes. Anytime you breathed in,
Yeah.
it was like something on your lung just went boom, like a little, and
yeah.
you'd literally take a breath and go, oh. It's a noise that constantly
And you
get
can't
happening.
laugh.
No,
Laughing is
nothing.
the worst. I did it playing cricket. Just like went to pull a shot, caught a ball in there, bruised a rib. It's just that is actually one of the worst.
It's
injuries
one
I've
of the most. It's one of the most consistently painful things.
I don't even.
And it's not. Say like
It's
if it's
more
your arm,
uncomfortable.
you can keep your arm out of your life quite easily. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like, but your ribs
Your
and your
respiratory
lung,
system.
you're not
Yeah,
aware of like what they're doing. They're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
there. So you do something. You like lean forward, and it
Yeah.
goes boom, and it's like,
not
oh,
uncomfortable.
okay.
You can't get comfortable when you're sleeping. You can't get comfortable when you're sitting.
Yeah.
It's just like one of them injuries that's horrible.
I hate that. Yeah, no, that's probably the worst one I've had. Maybe I had a trapped nerve actually in my groin. That was really bad. Needed physio for that. That was a
I'm
mad
sure
one.
you did. I need
Get
some
out.
physio on
Yeah,
this.
just calm
I need
down.
some physio on this.
Massage that out of it.
Nah, I was too young for that. Don't be saying anything.
Well,
Anyway.
off the back of Jacko's story, may as well go into mine because it links quite nicely.
Cool, go on.
So obviously we're talking kind of about playground football a little bit there, and youngsters playing football. The new FIFA 19 has some new game modes on it.
Oh yeah, go on.
So it has. Well, this is the rumour anyway. I don't know how true this is. I've read 3 articles on it, and I've seen some stuff on Twitter that all seem to confirm it. It's basically a new game mode when you go to play kickoff locally called House Rules.
Oh yeah.
So you can play stuff like 5v5. You can play heads and volleys. You can play.
So you get to pick them.
Yeah, you can pick them, and then still like, other than 5-a-side, so heads and volleys is still an 11-a-side game, but it only counts if you score with a
that's
header.
wicked.
Volley.
That's
That's
like,
wicked.
They've got survival mode, so each time the opposition scores, you lose a player.
That's wicked.
Like random ones like that. There's also
Heads
one
and
called,
volleys is a
There's also
quality
one
idea.
called no rules, which is no
What,
ref,
no
no
ref?
linos, no fouls. So absolute madness on the pitch. I reckon that'll be
So
hilarious.
when you say no rules, though, I mean, like, so I'm trying to think in the game how that, because obviously fouls and whatever's fine, like you understand how it could work, but can you just run off the touchline?
Nah,
the
so I
ball?
imagine you still the playing area, but there's
The
no
playing area
offsides,
is
No
the same,
offsides,
yeah.
no
no
yellow
fouls,
cards, no red
no
cards.
yellow cards, red cards. So that just got me thinking. Like, I actually think that's sick, by the way. That's such a good
cool.
idea by FIFA. What was everybody's like favourite playground game they used to play?
Ooh.
Mine was probably World Cup knockout.
What was that?
It's basically like Wembley. Do you ever play Wembley?
Yeah,
I played
Wembley. Yeah, I
People
like
at home
Wembley.
won't know what Wembley is.
So like
They're too busy playing Fortnite.
So like Wembley is when you have a goalkeeper who was usually the fattest. So
Did the signal as well.
did the arms. That person basically just a stick and goal, and it would basically be round one would be the first like, so you'd basically go you'd kind of like basically go in stages where it was the first to score went through, and then the last person to score
It's
would
a
be
free
out.
for all, isn't it?
Yeah,
Everybody
free
versus
for all.
everybody, 1v1.
Yeah, 1v1, or
Wembley
you sometimes used to play Wembley doubles where it'd be 2 versus 2 versus 2 versus 2, and then you'd kind of go to get to the final.
Yeah, and each time you scored, you went through,
Yeah,
and then in the final, you had to score 2 or 3 goals to win it, didn't you?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That was probably up there with my favourite
was
game.
good.
Although
Wembley was
I used to also enjoy Italia.
What's
Italia
that?
was
Never played
basically headers and volleys, but if you scored like over a kick, the person in goal lost 2 lives.
Okay, right.
Because obviously heads and volleys, the way we used to play heads and volleys, everybody has different interpretations. Is that you can score headers and volleys, which take away 1 point. Everybody starts with 10 lives, except the goalkeeper, who starts in goal, starts with 11. If you score, the goalkeeper loses a life. If you put it wide, you go in goal.
Right.
That's how we used to play it.
We used to do it if the goalkeeper used to catch it. Then
Yeah. If the goalkeeper caught it, you went
If the
in.
goalkeeper caught it, then you went in. Or if you
same with 60 seconds. You ever play
60 seconds,
That was a wicked game.
that was a good game.
But the thing about the goalkeeper catching it in ours was he could throw it up to someone and they headed it in. You lost 2 lives.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah,
And then
I remember that.
There'd be a mad
whoever
rush
got
into
cleaned
the
out, and then you'd have like was it called like doggy life or something like that at the end? Or it was like an extra life. Whoever got down to 0 first.
Donkey life.
Have 1 extra life. It was something like that. I don't know.
I think it was doggy.
I think it was
doggy,
doggy. And then you had to score with you had to score with like an over a kick or whatever to get them in goal. And then when they'd lost, they'd be like hang off the crossbar and then everybody would go with Tannum. But the way we used to do it with Tannum, isn't everybody else used to do the same as us? We'd go edge of the area. If you hit him, you move to penalty spot. If you hit him, you move to 6 yards. If you hit him, you move to half volley. If you hit him again, you can volley at him.
No, ours was just simple. Whoever lost just literally stood there, and every other person that was playing got 1 go.
So every single person,
that was more like,
every single
got a
person
chance
for
to
us
clean
got
it.
the same system. So you could effectively get like hit like 35 times.
Although I think I have played that because I remember people taking shots from right up close.
But it is like that one is like risky because a lot of people will start with like a tap, like just to try and hit you and then tap. But and then if you miss that, it's you.
Well, I used to we used to play like we just play standard games like split the teams and play against each other. But basically, what you're saying with FIFA in a way, what they're putting in, but you could only score from the air. Yeah. So, but I loved that because I'm not like this lot. No, I don't. I'm not a football player at all. But like obviously, when I was a kid, I was okay. But the one thing I always had in my locker is I'm still not bad with it today actually. But like a perfect in the air pass. I've got quite an inch perfect pass on me. On the floor, fucked completely. You ask me to pass it on the ground, it's going nowhere. But if you're the other side of the pitch and you call for it, or you're making a run, I used to be perfect at picking you out.
Dave Perlo.
So, back in the day, that used to be because I'd just stick out on one of the wings. I had no left foot as well, so I was robbing if I was on the right. I had like vice versa, the other way around. Cutting it back in, but yeah, put me out on the wing and just let me ping in crosses all day. I was over the moon with that because it was always there was such a satisfaction when you knew the second you hit it. It's like if he moves where I think he's going, that's spot on. Or like someone's already waiting there for it. It was perfect. That and then obviously like stuff like Soros and everything was always fun.
There was a game we used to play. And I'm sure you lot had your versions of it as well, but we used to call it letter beats. And basically what it is, let's say there's 10, 15 of you, right? You decide what word you want to make with the individuals, and you each get given a letter.
Yeah, and then whoever does it gets,
So with the, it's not about finding them, you have to beat it out of them. That's why it's called letter beat. So let's say...
So it's got nothing to do with football.
No, that's no football. Wait, we're talking about
football games.
Just playground.
Oh, because I've got another one then if we're going to do that.
Playground games, isn't it? Yeah, so let's say like you would letter D, right, for David. Like, we would, if we found you, like we have to beat you up.
Until I say what my letter is.
Yeah, but there's no punches to the face or balls. So you
love that. Rules.
No, but like if
kids just go, whoa, come on, let's have.
That's the rules.
Like if we catch this dead, innit? It's like, oh yeah, what's your letter? That's dead. Like, I want to punch you up a little bit and then get the letter.
Yeah.
So that was one of the wicked ones. Then there was a game we used to play called Blockbuster, right? Which is where there's two sides of the playground. Like let's say there's like 5 kids on one side, 5 kids on the other side. One person from each of the sides is the blocker. The other side don't know which is. You will have to get to the other side. Whoever can take out of the blockers, whoever can take out the most people before they get to the other side.
It's like a version of Bulldog.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Cool. So
Bulldog
when I mean take out, I mean like destroy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that like Blockbuster and
Bulldog used to actually be probably one of my favourite
Bulldog
games.
was.
I think that was the worst injury I've ever seen in the flesh playing Bulldog.
Yeah.
We played. If you don't know what Bulldog is, effectively, the most simple definition is you have to get from one end to the other end with a person in the middle trying to stop you. And if he stops you, you become a Bulldog.
Yeah, you like
So
join that
eventually
team,
it will be like 15 people on one guy.
What was the difference to British Bulldog?
There was
I think British Bulldog was just more physical.
And then
I thought British Bulldog was
that's basically
was
what Blockbuster.
2 teams.
But pretty much
Yeah, that's
rather than one
Blockbuster.
person, it was 2 teams. You just had to take each other out.
I don't know about you guys, but pretty much every school in my local area batting Bulldog, and because of the violence.
Yeah, probably.
Like one of the worst injuries I've ever seen playing Bulldog. Honestly, seriously horrendous. I've mentioned him on this podcast before, but Ben King is a big bloke, right? He's a big bloke.
He's a legend.
And so bad. It's on the AstroTurf and playing half pitch. So like, in a football pitch, you've got goal to halfway. If you're playing the opposite, so side to side, half there. King was in the middle, and I remember there's this lad called Tom Wallin. Oh my God. He was from Zambia, and he wasn't overweight, but he was like a bit chubby, not the quickest mover. And I seen King target him from yards away.
Picked him out.
As you all set off and you're like jogging across, you can see like I think at this stage there's about 3 people.
Zambian Tom's already out of breath.
And we've gone from one end, there's about 3 people in the middle, and you can see that King is like he's doing the sort of British Bulldog vibe where it's like I'm gonna act like I don't see you there.
Yeah, no.
So he's like in the middle, like he's like.
Oh,
and
then
bang, and then suddenly in. And
the timing was always perfect as well.
And then so Wallin's running, and he does. I think he must not have thought Ben had seen him. I don't know what he was thinking. He's gone very slow. He's turned and he's tried to do one of them cheeky things in British Bulldog you could do, where you get to one end, and then go straight up the other, like bang bang, like react. And he's turned. And he's obviously not looked, but Ben has spotted him. He's coming like a wildebeest, Ben. But from about 30 yards, he's seen Wallin turn. Wallin has turned straight into him. And you can bring down however you want. And Ben was particularly brutal at British Bulldog. So he's come in, 2 foot, bang, no arms, like this, 2 foot, straight at his knees.
Oh!
And Wallin has, as he's turned, he's locked his right leg off. King, I don't know whether he's targeted the knee, but he's come through 2 foot, full body weight. He must have weighed probably 15 stone, 6'4", bang, straight through the knee, and his leg literally was static like that, buckled right angles under him like that. And I remember everybody getting up. King has gone through the guy. Literally, Ben has taken his leg home with him. Ben's
Ben got up. He was like, "Where's the next one?"
Ben's got up, literally, no joke, turned around straight away like that. Who's on the next one? Chasing after someone. Everybody's around Wallin like the kid's never walking again. I've never seen a worse injury in my life.
Is he alright?
On the
What happened
pitch.
to the
I don't
kid?
know, mate. He didn't walk for about 6 months.
That's right.
Mad.
On the terms of just finish off with other games,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like because you went off the football thing, so
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in terms of for atmosphere when it kicked off, like penny up,
Penny Up was the one.
Penny Up was hilarious. Like when it got. What was the name of the game where you play with a tennis ball against the wall? Pat ball.
Pat ball, yeah.
Pat ball as
Pat
well.
ball was
When
wavy,
Pat ball
was
got,
wavy,
because the best bit about Pat ball was it would get to the point where so many people in a circle watching it,
Yeah.
but the game had got to the point where forget big shots.
Yeah.
It was two people literally just tapping it like that. You couldn't see nothing. It was just
Amazing.
them two. And everyone was going.
Now explain what Penny Up was. Explain what Penny Up was, because Penny Up was the what?
Penny Up was basically people would have coins.
Got
and
one more after this.
You had to flick your coin to the wall, to where the wall met the floor.
Yeah.
And have it. There was different. Again, people had different variations on rules, but basically, with a bounce or whatever, you had to land your penny closest to where the wall met the floor. And basically, because you were playing with pennies, whoever won each round won the money that was on the floor. So people would play it with like. I can't even remember what it was now, but like different people knew that different coins would be better for certain things in it.
You see, in my school, people actually used to pay in pounds. There's one fella, he's
Yeah.
wicked. Like he used to clear about £20-30 a
Yeah.
day.
We used to fix the
He
matches.
was wicked.
Yeah.
Me and my boys used to fix the Penny Up matches.
Yeah.
It's
Penny
a
Up
mad
was,
thing.
was wicked
That's
though.
ridiculous.
So much fun.
Penny Up was
them.
fun, man.
And there's one game I always want to mention. It has to get an honourable mention. Nutmeg Rush.
Oh, great.
Nutmeg
Nutmeg
Rush
Rush.
was the dirtiest game.
That was a fantastic. The reason I liked it so much, yeah, is because there would be these funny moments where a big kid will get nutmegged and everyone looks at him like, I don't know if I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? It was wicked.
Explain what Nutmeg Rush is as well.
So
because
Nutmeg
all
Rush-
these kids just playing Fortnite and stuff.
Yeah,
This
I
is
know,
what we
it's
mean when you don't have the stories if
Yeah,
you're just
yeah,
playing
yeah.
Fortnite.
No one's had their legs taken out. Come on.
Come on, Wally.
So essentially, Nutmeg Rush is, it depends whatever ball you want to play with. We used to play with tennis ball because it's way easier
It's
to
hot.
get it
Yeah,
through. It's easier to get it through people's legs.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you get nutmegged, let's say there's like 15 of you in a group. You're kicking the ball about. If the ball goes through your legs, you're getting punched up,
Yeah, you get
beaten up,
rushed.
kicked.
There's like a
However you wanna
location
do
you
it.
have to get to.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
how
yeah.
we played it. There's like a...
Oh, there's a location you have to get
It's
to.
also,
Like
do
a
you
hole
remember,
or something, you had to run on
remember
top.
just the... Do you remember the feeling in your body when you were playing it?
And somebody got
Like,
nutmegged.
no, not that. But you know that tenseness.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
you know
yeah.
it's like it could
And
be
then
you,
it used
and
to
the
be,
ball's getting,
"Oh!"
and you're constantly like, and then it would happen to someone, and you just be
So
straight
how did you
in.
used to end it? Because we used to have like a pole that would be about 100 yards
No,
away.
we
The
didn't
kid
have
had to
a
go
pole.
and
It was-
touch.
it just used
and
to
To be
play
if you
honest,
didn't touch,
ours
you
was
basically
ours-
manually beat it.
ours was just play until either someone like cried
Yeah.
or it was the end of the break. You just keep playing it.
Yeah, the thing is, our one was really bad.
There's no winner to Nutmeg Rush.
There literally is no
There's no winner.
There is-
In my school, there was the science block and there was the English block, right? And they were right next to each other. So there was an alleyway in between each two, like, with a door at one end and then just an open at the other end, right? So the bigger guys used to stand at the end, so that when people tried to run away from the beating, they were just in there, innit? There's no way you're getting out. So in between the two blocks, the ball would be bouncing off the sides as well,
Yeah.
which makes it worse because
So
you don't actually know where
yeah.
it's going.
Sometimes
So-
someone would boot it and it'd be going.
And that's the
everyone
thing,
would just be
but the thing is,
but
people
you're
used to
standing
be
like that.
jumping up and
But
down.
yeah,
Like, no,
and
it's not going through my legs.
You're standing holding your legs
literally,
together.
Literally. And
Oh.
that's another thing. If you were just standing there with your legs closed, people used to just kick the shit out of you anyway.
Yeah, they would, yeah.
Like, because you can't be
Did
doing
you
that.
used to put, I think it was in like year 8 when you used to
Yeah.
get the injection. You used to go around thumping their arm so they used to
So
get
my
fucked up.
mum, you know the BCG. You're
horrible,
talking about the BCG.
Yeah,
That's
the BCG.
horrible.
Where
Yeah,
every
so
one.
get this for the worst part of them, right? So my mum got her BCG done. when
Don't
she
tell me
was- I don't
somebody
know-
punched your mum in the arm.
Worse. Wait for it. So my mum's BCG is on her arm here, right? It's got 4 dots across it.
No.
Because someone stabbed a fork in her arm in the lunch break the day it got done. Yeah.
A fork?
Yeah, a fork straight in her arm. So she's got the thing there and then 4 dots to go across it.
There's
Because-
Why are you
because-
punching BCGs?
No,
What's the matter
no,
with you
because the reason why, because we
She
used
was
to do
captain
it.
of the netball team as well.
And you used to-
So
that was
whoever that is, whoever
Why?
did that,
Yeah,
should
the reason
be
you used
put
to do it,
down.
because you used to have the injection, used to make that part of your skin so sensitive.
yeah,
So if you punch, it would be bruised forever.
Oh.
Like it would get.
Do you ever get some people who's always have it? Like my brother's BCG is a little ball on his arm.
Because he's been
Like
punched.
mine's,
I think it's because he's been
mine's
punched.
nothing. Mine's just
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
nothing at all. But some people got like it was almost like a.
It's because you
but
got
it's
right,
permanent.
yeah, it's like,
it
yeah.
stayed
Yeah,
permanent.
yeah,
There's
yeah,
a
it
lump
was
on the
mad.
thing.
It was mad.
Crazy.
It was like
welcome
when
to Channel 4's Who Remembers the 90s?
There's one honourable mention as well. My mate Don Ball. Obviously, you lot remember birthday beats, right?
Yeah.
Cool. This guy changed the game of birthday beats forever. Right. Shout out my mate Don. On his birthday, he came into school wearing a blazer. I'm thinking, right, looking kind of stocky today. What's going on? Like, have you been doing the weights for your birthday? Like, what's happening? He's like, nah, punch me if you're a bad man, innit? I was like, if you're going to do your thing, innit? He was like, all right, cool. I was like, don't know why you're acting like that. Watch at lunchtime, innit? Like, I'm going to get people and we're going to punch you up. So then we were in the playground now. We used to call it Town Square because it was like a little square playground thing. and I see him, and he walks out of lunch so cocky, like nothing's gonna happen to him. I was like, just for that, you have to get it.
You're gonna, yeah.
So I've run over. He's like, so like it's happening now, isn't it? Like a few of us. He's like, cool, do your thing. Like we're jockeying and that. Like finally grab his arm. I've pulled his arm. I've gone for a punch, and I'm thinking, what the. Man's wearing shin pads. Yes. Man's wearing shin pads. And everyone's just punching him and they're like, what's going on? Like, my hands are hurting. And Don Ball's just like, yeah. All you got, I thought you, and then he changed the game forever.
I don't think we've got time to go into other stories.
Yeah.
So I just thought, seeing as we're sticking on this, or the school thing, because
how long have we been going for?
I think we've probably got another 10 minutes or so.
10 minutes.
So we've got 10 minutes. But I was going to say, like, not glorify them in any way at all.
Yeah.
But when you think back on, like, me and my mates still do this now, when like, you talk back on fights that you remember seeing in school.
Yeah.
Not so much like ones you were in or whatever, but like ones that you, like the famous ones from school.
Yeah.
And I always remember there was one, I won't say full names, but it was a fight between a kid called Kieran and a kid called Ted that I went to school with. And one was a big guy, like tall, big fella, and the other one was just like normal sized. They were having a fight, and one of them got punched in the stomach, the big fella. And as he bent down, this kid it was like slow mo. Literally took a step back, and then like goal kick punt, run up from underneath into the face.
What, toe punt in the head?
But literally, the kid's head came up, and you watched just a fountain of red. The claret just went bang in the air. It was like, but you know one of those moments where everyone in school was like. Like it all slowed down, everyone just watching it. And I remember another one, it's so stupid, but a kid getting rushed, and as the crowd parted, he just like sat up like that, and as he sat up, an apple just went, but like shattered. You know one of those moments where it's just like it's in my mind, it's the idea of, I know who did it, I know who threw the apple, it's my mate Greg, it was when I got married on a weekend. But it's the idea of like waiting, and as the crowd parted, just going, now, that's straight at the end.
Now. No,
it's so funny.
But like when I was in primary school, I actually once, like when it wasn't naughty. Like I didn't mean to do it, but I brought a golf ball into school.
You're an idiot.
And me and this lad called Nathan Jones, and he was a little bit like
Nathan
he was
Jones, like the wrestler.
Yeah, the wrestler.
He was a little bit of a naughty lad. He was not a good egg at school anyway. He's a nice guy now. But he was naughty, and I was throwing a golf ball across the playground, and it's probably...
He loves throwing, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He just loves throwing.
Yeah, I can throw a ball really, really hard and far.
Still argues this all the time that he can throw a ball further than anyone in the office.
Yeah, 100%. Anyway, so I'm throwing this golf ball probably 30 metres away, like that. And if you have a golf ball on concrete, it bounces.
Yeah.
So I am like launching this golf ball at Nathan. Nathan's catching it, launching it back, and I think we start like bouncing it into the floor, and it's like bouncing miles up this. And I remember...
This just reminded me of something.
And I remember seeing this girl, she's called Daisy, really nice girl, like still know her now. She comes across the playground there, and me and Nathan are like zinging this golf ball across the concrete. And I remember this gets pinged into the ground. I can't remember if it was me or Nathan that did it. Absolutely.
That means it was him. That means it was him.
And Daisy's like trotting along, bang, and this golf ball hit her so hard in the mouth. Like
in the mouth.
Honestly, bang into the mouth, smash into her front teeth.
No.
Tooth everywhere, mouth mangled to pieces.
It's not even funny,
I'm
but
looking,
it's
I'm
mad.
like, this is a disaster. So I never said anything to my parents. Nathan never said anything to his parents.
What did Daisy say to her?
This is what
She couldn't.
So anyway.
She had a lift.
So anyway, so the teacher takes the ball, gives me and Nathan like a bollocking. That's dangerous. Shouldn't be throwing golf balls across concrete. Daisy's in bits. Her mouth mangled. Her teeth are shot to pieces. And anyway, so I haven't told my parents. So like probably 3 months later, I'm at a Christmas party, and like I'm like sat there playing Xbox or whatever. And my mum comes in, she's like, what have you been doing? And Daisy, the snitch, had told her parents that I'd thrown a golf ball and knocked their front teeth out, and her parents had come around my parents' house and berated me.
That's exactly what you did, though.
Yeah, I did.
He was saying that and she twisted it.
I did.
Daisy, guess what she said?
Well, it's not like I deliberately like lined her up and pinged her in the mouth.
I like as well. That later in his story, it's definitely him that threw it as well now.
No. I actually think it might be Nathan, but it was my golf ball.
Yeah.
I think she's still got the cracks across her teeth now.
It was him.
What was
Well, I don't know.
it?
I used to take really random. Everybody used to take random stuff to school.
Well, you were
man.
I remember.
snails and
That's
stuff
reminded me. That. Do you remember the cricket balls you used to get?
Snails
that
and
weren't-
golf balls.
Do you remember the cricket balls you used to get? They weren't cricket balls. They were orange.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they were like
so
kind of
it's a plastic,
squishy, but they
They're called quickie balls.
And but they were also.
They were
If you
hard,
threw
weren't
them,
they?
yeah, they
They
were
were
hard.
hard,
If
yeah.
you threw it at pace, it was. We was on a playground with one of them, and my mate Tom. Again, it's the look in my head. You know when you've got it burnt into your memory. It's the like. It's almost the Banksy. You know when the guy with the.
I was about to throw the
It's the lean
flame.
back
The launch.
like that. And launched it across the playground. And this kid in a younger year, what sticks in my mind is he used to get wrecked for looking like Michael Jackson because he only wore white socks, but he had black shoes on all the time. And he was walking along, and it literally, it was one of those ones, didn't hit the ground, but as he threw it, it like rose in the air.
Yeah.
And as it rose, it caught him in the eye, like literally, and it was one of those ones you could see it almost settled into the socket because of the softness of the ball. But it was the slowest fall I've ever seen in my life. Like this kid got hit in the face.
Something from Platoon.
No, he got hit in the face. He went up onto one leg with like leg out and both his hands out as well, and like hopped for about 3 steps, and then just like casually like fell to the ground. And we watched one of our teachers. Like we looked across, saw him see Tom do it, but we watched one of our teachers look at us, know what he had to do. But he turned around because he was pissing himself. And the teacher was literally just standing there like this. And then like 10 seconds went past and he went, and he come and walked over. And he was giving us a bollocking. And my mate just went, but you laughed. And then he got detention as well. You know, like your kids, and you say the one thing, like just don't say anything at that point. My mate's just at the back, like seeing the bit that wasn't just, and going, hang on, no, hang on, let's have it right.
I love school stories. School stories are like the best stories ever.
Maybe we should just do one podcast special one day on just our.
I think we have. It
Ropier.
was only 10 minutes at the start of this.
No, we haven't had any of Dave's, and Dave's going to have some of the ropier stories
yeah,
anyway.
There's some bad
I
ones.
think everyone though. I might be. Tell me if this is used as well. I'm like, I'm giving the. I'm not giving the A-list ones.
Yeah, no,
They're-
you can't do
they're-
the A-list.
The A-list ones are. They're incriminating.
I'll tell you one more.
You
B-list one.
can't tell some.
This is a quick one. So my first day of reception, right? This is taking it old school.
How do you remember that? I don't remember anything before about 6.
I remember
7
stuff
years.
like
I
three.
remember a couple of things from reception.
Yeah, I remember one thing when I fell over, I cut on my lip, and it was all like you know when you used to get
The grit in it.
the cotton wool.
Oh,
And it's cotton wool. That's all I remember. I just
Yeah,
got
I
cotton wool
remember
being
the grit.
came out.
When you used
No,
to
I
get
don't
grit in
really-
your lips.
I don't really remember anything from that age.
I remember getting in trouble at that age.
Yeah,
They're like
those are
burnt
the
in.
only-
Yeah,
yeah,
scared.
that's
you.
the only things I remember.
Yeah, go on,
go on, yeah.
what was your story?
So do you remember when we were in school, we didn't have like the proper tennis rackets. There was like the plastic ones, and they were thick, and they had little squares in them.
Yeah. The ones that you played with a
Swing balls.
swing ball.
yeah.
Right, but you know they're lethal, innit?
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
thick and heavy.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So on my first day of
Leave
reception,
the waffle in your face.
yeah,
Them ones.
listen. So this kid, and I used to have a fight with him
I bet he
every
was a
other
massive
day.
kid. Even as a kid, I bet he was massive.
I was actually quite slight.
Yeah?
If you've seen pictures of my dad, I was more
Okay.
like that build,
More medley-ish.
more medleyish growing
I
up.
was more medley.
And then I started filling out more like the Berry side, like the rugby players on my mum's side. But
You was gonna say you have a 5 minute every day.
so every
everyone's
other
got
day,
people like that, though.
there was a
Yeah,
kid called
yeah.
Shakra. I'm gonna call him out, innit? That was his name.
Shakra.
His name was Shakra.
Great name.
Sab versus Chakra 5.
Anyway, so this kid, I just disliked him. He was just an idiot. But on my first day of reception, it might be the second day maybe, he was doing my head in, and I remember vividly thinking, I want to hit him with something really hard. Like, what's in my vicinity, innit? And
Really hard.
and we was playing swing ball, and it was like, you know, at the beginning of reception, it's just days where you're getting used to the area.
Yeah,
So it's not like you've even gone there to learn anything. You know what I'm saying? So
Getting
me and him,
used to the area.
yeah. So anyway, we're in this little place, and the swing ball. So I picked up the thing, I said something like, "Go on, keep talking." Or something. I can't remember what I said. That was when we were young.
talking.
5.
5 years old.
Keep talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Say nothing.
That's the thing, though.
Saying nothing.
Do you see like when he's 5, he's still got a full beard. He's coming in, he's going, say something, right?
But the kid just wouldn't shut up. I was like, "Cool, you're getting it now," and I just smacked him in the face, like straight on, not like on his nose, innit? So like, boom! I remember my mum had to come to the school. One of the teachers said, I'm really sorry, Miss Berry, but if you keep up this activity, we're not going to be able to have him at the school. And she proper like, was like berating me in front of my mum and stuff. and went
I
home.
know what you're gonna say.
Went home.
It's gonna be the exact same things in my family.
Go on.
Went home. My mum goes, "I'm glad this kid's a little shit."
Yeah.
Kid's a little shit.
I remember it with like my little cousins and something, like especially my little girl cousins. It was always with them. Like there'd be a story where like my uncle would phone up and say, but two of my little cousins basically grew up with us. Like my mum was their childminder, so they're basically my sisters, and they like. My uncle will call up and say, yeah, we've just had a call from the school, like, this thing's gone on, whatever. It was like a boy in her school, and she's only about 7 or 8. He's like pushing her about in the playground. And my little cousins just turned and just clocked him straight in the face. Yes. And then they're like, and then he's coming crying or whatever. And my mum's like, okay, right, put the phone down. And like, my dad's just then like gone in and gone, tell us like what happened at school. She's like upset thinking she's in trouble. And he's gone through the whole thing, and my dad's like, cool. Now let's teach you how you properly connect with this. And then he's got to like stand up and he's showing how to hit someone. And you got like, as a kid, it's like those things are gonna happen.
Yeah, man.
And not say I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, you got to teach them how to fight or whatever.
You need to be able to stand up.
You
for
need to be able to
himself,
protect.
isn't it?
Yeah, if so, you can't just be like get hit and then just stand there. And, you know, you've got to be able to do something.
For sure.
That's pretty much it, I think. I think we've got to wrap
It's
it
a
up
great
there.
episode. I really
been
enjoyed
good.
this.
It's been
Really
decent.
enjoyed this.
It's been fairly long though, so let's wrap it up now.
Cool. Rapid.
We might well do another one of these. Let us know if
Yeah.
you want to see one of these in the future, just like a pure school
Story time.
story
Story
episode. If you do, let us know in the comments below. If you're watching or listening on the podcast app, make sure you review us and make it a good one. And rate us 5 stars. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much, lads. Bye.
Peace.